at his, if you were to know certain facts about this individual, number one, how is it possible that this 20-year-old, around his 20s, did not have a digital footprint? Right? That's, what is that?
That's crazy.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. Yet, he had, there were some other connections that they haven't bought out yet that will come out.
They found a second phone. Is that right?
Well, yeah, he had two phones, but still, of the two phones, he had no digital footprint. And
That's
that's
impossible, isn't it?
unusual, right? He had contacts, but they led nowhere. They came out with some story. They ambitiously came out with, they had to withdraw it. Something with a Steam account where he made a comment, but no, that was fake. They had to withdraw that. And so he had no digital footprint, no real interactions. And that's odd.
Yeah.
Especially, we live in a time, they knew about the threat of Iran, 15 days ago, right? Yeah, it's planned too perfectly, right? That shot where he fired had one blind spot. A police officer did see this guy, and the police officer was injured, so was the person below the police officer, because the police officer looked up over the roof, right? He had to let
Yes.
go because they pointed the gun on him. He fell
Yes.
down,
He
hurt his
fell
ankle.
down. Yep.
The other person was hurt in the process too. But there were other folks standing around. That's why the alert went out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me 10 minutes elapsed, and their boss got that radio call. So did a few others. But Secret Service is so trusting. No one acts on their own. It's very coordinated type of security detail, you could say. It's very important that you listen to those orders given to you, right?
Right.
You can't act outside of that because you mess up the entire that choreographed protection shield that they put around the individual. Well, there was a compromise involved. That's the only way. No one was given an order to stay his. They should have not let him on stage, no matter what he said. His life was on the line here, right? You have to
That's right.
clear that area. All suspicions, everything has to be, it has to be quiet before that takes place.
Is that why, Mike,
Um,
sometimes, when the president's supposed to speak and he might be a 15-minute, 30-minute,
yeah,
45-minute
yeah,
delay,
that
it's
that
because
that happens.
all threats are got to be eliminated first, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And any suspicion has to be checked out. You don't let somebody on the stage with a suspicion like that. And given the area that he was in, right? Every area he goes to, they do their homework as
Right.
far as crime rates, probability of, there's a lot of unhinged people out there. He should have at least been in some sort of protective box. They call it a box. He should have been in one of those where if a bullet did, come, it would hit that box anyway, not him. But knowing it was too convenient.
Yeah.
It was too planned. I hate to say that, it's
Yeah.
too planned. I was kind of outraged when it happened because of the security lapse.
Yeah.
How can Secret Service? Their reaction was perfect. They responded perfectly.
Yeah.
My problem was the radio call that came through at 5:51, and then 6 p.m. he takes the
The
stage,
stage.
and no one halted him. No one stopped him. They didn't do anything. So yeah, I'd feel safer after he's president
Yes.
that he would someone would do an inquiry. And here's why. This was coordinated through perfect elements. And what I mean by that, you have this unassuming individual, right, who just hops up on a roof and takes a pop shot at the president,
It's
right?
crazy.
With he had some, to my understanding, that was some very expensive equipment.
Yep.
There was, I mean, it was,
I
for
mean, where
lack of
did he
better
get
terms,
that?
it seemed like some high level coordination was involved here, right?
Yes.
He was in a perfect spot where nobody could really get him, right? As soon as he fired, Secret Service fires back. Now there were two snipers on the roof. You mean to tell me they couldn't see him?
They could see
And I
him.
hope it's all wrong.
So, in other
It's all
words,
wrong.
the situation was set up to where he had the free reign to go and get up on this roof with expensive guns and scopes. He had on. He also had a life, bulletproof
Armored
vest.
vest. Yeah.
Right. He had
He had
a
armor on.
he had
Yeah.
more magazines. He had 100 rounds.
Yeah.
He packed all this stuff up there
Yeah.
with the president getting ready to get on this
Right.
thing, and I mean, and then I saw the Secret Service director, and she was asked why in the world was there nobody there or protecting that, and she said,
Right.
"Well, there was a sloped roof,"
Uh-huh.
which is ridiculous because there was already the two guys. The two snipers that they did have were up on sloped roofs, even steeper.
Uh-huh.
That's
Right.
ridiculous.
Right.
So, and then I saw her last night. She was at the Republican convention, and four senators, including Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, they had her. They had this lady surrounded, and they were asking her the tough questions.
Because I think they suspect you
Yes.
can't. She was the boss.
Yep.
How could she not? How could she not? Comply with standard Secret Service protective measures. That's standard operating procedure. And then all the information that was pulled on this guy. They can do that within. I'll give an example. Uh, Probably yesterday, maybe today, some news came out about some dealings, financial dealings. I'll put it that way. But
Those,
that was known day one. That was known day one.
okay, that
Okay,
just
not
came
day two,
out.
not day
Three
three. That was known day one.
you're referring to the three encrypted accounts that from
Whatever they
overseas?
called it.
You mean they
Whatever they
knew this
called it.
day one? We just now get this on day
When you do
5.
that, when you do information gathering, right?
Okay.
A lot of information comes back on day one, right? They can't release everything to the public as they get it naturally. It's an open investigation. So, but they had all this on this guy, and I'm telling you now, he had no digital footprint. He had no digital footprint. Uh, it was almost like he was a stooge.
Yeah.
His family was concerned. A week before this happened, his family inquired about his safety, about his whereabouts.